everybody. Steven here from Off the Shelf Movie Night to talk to you about Terminator Dark Fate, the latest installment in the Terminator franchise. If you're into physical media, Blu-rays, DVDs, and 4Ks, and home theater, please give this this channel a like and subscribe, and hit that bell, and so you'll see everything we've got coming up here. And let's talk about physical media and why it's the best way to experience films and TV. So on to Terminator Dark Fate. This film is the latest in the Terminator franchise, as I mentioned, and it sees the return of a couple of very familiar faces. We get Linda Hamilton back and Arnold Schwarzenegger. So Arnold has been back here and there. Linda Hamilton hasn't been back since the second film, so it's kind of good to see her. Overall, she's doing exactly the same thing that Jamie Lee Curtis is doing with her character in Halloween, playing the older, grizzled, even more angry and tougher character, sort of, you know, a little bit crazy, to be honest with you. She admits in this film to even being an alcoholic. So she returns once again as the protector, but not of her son this time. We have a new female character here. This is actually a female-driven movie, which is interesting and fun, and does add a new spin on the franchise, even though this story is sort of familiar within the world of Terminator. So along with her, Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor as the protector, we get a new Terminator also. So this character is the highlight of the film. I would love to see more of her. She does actually bring us something new to the Terminator franchise. She is a Terminator. She is badass, but she's not the unstoppable machine that we're used to seeing with Terminator. She's something new and different. Our villain Terminator here, he really is sort of, he's called the Rev 9, and he is sort of just, I don't know why it's not focusing there. Let me just come back a little bit. He is a step forward from the T-1000. He's very similar in a lot of ways. Now, the cover does spoil one thing that I'm glad I didn't see previous to seeing the movie in the theater. Now, it may have been spoiled in the trailers too, I don't remember, but anyway, he can split from his skeleton, which is something new and interesting and kind of fun to watch, if you don't mind bad CGI. Because I'm going to tell you, some of the CGI involving this Terminator is like Photoshop bad. It just looks terrible. And it's very unfortunate that it looks so bad, because the beginning of the film features a de-aging process done on a couple of characters that is downright stunning. It's some of the best de-aging that I've seen in the theater. It's amazing. And I feel like that's the James Cameron impact on this film. So, again, just some looks at what we have bonus feature-wise there. We do get the HDR, and I'll talk about that in just a second. Let me show you the back here. Slipcover is exactly the same as the back. Here's your read-up, bonus features, and credits. Okay, and then we are in Dolby Atmos along with Dolby Vision. And of course HDR10. So that's the front and back. If you want to see it, there's your spine. See, we have a Paramount logo, film title there, and 4K Ultra. Again, I want to say thank you to Paramount for sending us this in advance. This is disappointing. There is a digital code. I've taken that out already. I was hoping for one of the discs, the 4K in particular. I was hoping we would get some disc art, but no, we just got a black disc and a blue disc. Very kind of blah. That's unfortunate. So anyway, to the film. Overall, this film gets back into the language of the Terminator films. It is a road picture in that way that Terminator 1 and 2 were road pictures, and 3, also a road picture. It forgets sort of what's happened in Salvation and Genesis, and we all like to try to forget that. So I'm fine with that. This is directed by the same director that brought us Deadpool. He knows how to do action. He has good comedy timing, obviously. And overall, he makes a fun movie. There's nothing really fresh or new story-wise here, though. without getting too spoilery, it does go in a new direction, but I didn't find it to be that fresh. I feel like, I don't know, I didn't set, the new direction just doesn't, I don't lock into it in a way, because it really does wash away everything that we've known from the first couple of films in one respect. I just don't want to get spoilery. Overall, it's a good film. If I'm going to give it a number rating out of 10, which is my normal thing, I'm going to go 6.5 out of 10. It's not a perfect film. The CGI on the villain Terminator in particular is terrible. Linda Hamilton is generally good, but she has a couple of rough scenes. Arnold Schwarzenegger gets to do something new with his Terminator. He's been on the planet in our Earth, our time period, much longer than his programming intended. So he's had to develop within his programming a new objective, because Terminators have to have an objective. So he's had to develop something new, and his programming has had to adapt to existing on Earth without having his previous objective as part of his routine, I guess. So it does bring us some humor, and it brings a new layer to the character. And of course, we have had reason for him to age since Terminator 2, because at that point, that's when we knew that the skin on the outside of the robot shell is organic, so it is going to age and wear and all that stuff. So that's okay. Overall, it's, again, fun to watch. 6.5 out of 10. It's not a groundbreaking film within the franchise, but at least it is a return to form. It is a Terminator film with some new elements that are fun. All right, so to the 4K of it all. The image is, I don't have access to Dolby Vision. My setup is an HDR10 setup, and I did watch this on my projector to 140-inch screen, so I got a really good look at the image to see what that resolution looks like, what the detail looks like. And I'm going to tell you, overall, this is a beautiful 4K. Now, the color palette is washed out. It's kind of pastel-y and washed out, but that was the way it was intended to be. That is what the source material looks like. I remember this from seeing it in the theater. Watching this on my projector at home was just about like watching it in the theater. I was very impressed with this one. This is not as dim as I'm used to. Now, problem with HDR, for a lot of you guys know this that have 4K players, is you get higher contrast, you get more depth in color, but everything overall is a lot dimmer. This is a nice bright presentation. I will say the dark scenes, and there's some scenes in the dark at night, the black levels could have been a little bit deeper, but overall the film looked really good. The bump in resolution is obvious. You can see it in skin tones. You can see the pores on Linda Hamilton's skin, and you can see the wrinkles on Arnold Schwarzenegger's face. I mean, it's really nice looking. Overall, a really great looking 4K, I'm going to say. Now, for the Atmos sound, if you have the sound system for it, this thing sounds pretty good. Now, the overheads don't get the workout that I would have liked, but the sound is fairly immersive. And if you're a fan of subwoofers and you've got the subwoofers to handle this film, this thing starts off with a bang and never lets up. The low end in this movie is pretty incredible. So, like I said, if you've got the subwoofers to handle it, you will be very happy with the sound mix of this film generally. If you find that you notice more in the overheads in your Atmos mix, let me know. I would love to hear it. I found just general immersiveness to be very good, but I didn't find the overheads to get used as much as I would have liked for an Atmos mix. Bonus features. So, let's see here. Let's get back on this. So the bonus features are on the Blu-ray. The 4K has nothing on it. Now we get a set of deleted scenes. It's interesting to see those scenes and kind of feel where they would have fit in the film. Now, generally, I feel like they're unnecessary, but they are great to watch. The featurettes. There are a number of featurettes here, but they focus mostly on action sequences. And that's fine. I mean, there's everything here from previs to CG applications and choreography, how the fights are executed, all that kind of stuff. And it's interesting to watch because this director has a good bit of experience at this point with fight scenes. Now, what I found interesting is he was a little bit intimidated by the sheer level of practical effects that were going to be used in this film. He actually mentions it. He's more at home using CG effects. And you know, it's probably easier, to be honest, because you just pass off the work to the CG artists and let them create the scene for you. But there were a lot of times he had to use practical effects in this film. Now, that is a problem because you can see it. You can see a stark difference between what is practical and what is CG, because the CG is not very good. Overall, I found the bonus features to just kind of be okay. James Cameron makes an appearance to discuss his impact on the writing. Apparently, he did come to the director with some story concepts, and that's really essentially where it ends. It sounds like he only met with the writers for a day. The development of the story, I'm not going to spoil it here because that's the reason you have the bonus features. You can watch them for yourself. But the development of the story and how it came about is interesting, and a lot more went into it than I would have suspected. So there's good stuff here, but overall it's pretty EPK, electronic press kit type of stuff. It's sound bites and that kind of thing. If you're into fight choreography and the use of CG and how it's executed and that kind of thing, there's some good stuff here for you. Overall, it's just okay. I'm going to give the extras a 5 out of 10. There's a few good things, but not as in-depth as I would have liked. I would love to have seen some sort of retrospective, some sort of history of the franchise, that kind of thing. Because we are so many movies in now. It's a good time to go back. And I would have liked to have seen a little more time with Linda Hamilton. She is interviewed, of course, but I would like to see her discuss the film more and her need to wait till this film to come back and where she's been and that kind of thing. I would like to have seen more of that stuff. So it just doesn't feel like it's quite enough. But what's here is pretty good. So again, extras are going to be 5 out of 10. Overall 4K. I'm not going to break the audio and video down. I'm just going to say in the realm of a 4K, this is an 8 to an 8.5 out of 10 because the quality is really good. I just wish the overheads would have been used a little bit more. So one thing I will say lastly about the film is there is some sort of socio-political commentary in this film. I found it to actually work within the confines of the script and the type of story they were telling. It's not in your face and it's not, beating you down with opinion or anything like that. I think it's actually very well executed, but it is here. There is some political commentary here, done much better in this film than a lot of other films of the last year or two that I've seen. So that's it for my review of Terminator Dark Fate. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. I recommend checking this film out, and if you're going to buy it in 4K. It's a worthy upgrade. I guess that's about it. So until next time, you guys, pull something cool off the shelf, share it with your friends and family, and show them, remind them why physical media is the best way to enjoy film and TV. And follow me. Hit me up on Instagram at OTS Movie Night. I do post pictures of things that I pick up that I don't really feel like are something that need attention on the YouTube channel, but I do post pictures of pickups and things there. We also have a Facebook page, which is Off the Shelf Movie Night. You can find us there too. All right. Again, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. We'll see you next time.